Tonight, we have new information regarding the Freeman High School shooting.
We also take a look at the riots happening at Georgia Tech.
Plus, Congress passes an enormous bill. This is Murrow News 8.
From Studio B on the campus of Washington State University, this is Pullman's only nightly newscast. This is Murrow News 8.
Good evening, I'm Nick Bartlett.
And I'm Shannon Hecht. Welcome to Murrow News 8.
New updates on the Freeman School shooting. In Spokane, we're learning the young shooter actually did have specific targets in mind when he brought weapons to the school, contrary to what he told authorities at the time of his arrest. Evidence from a search of the shooter's home revealed a yearbook with X's on the pictures of people he wished to kill. Police also found the makings of a Molotov cocktail in a notebook with a manifesto and a list of his father's ammunition.
The Spokane County Sheriff's Office has arrested a woman suspected of prowling cars during the Freeman High School shooting last week. Many parents of Freeman High students parked their cars along the highway leading to the school and ran to meet their children. After a woman reported her purse missing and $36,000 charged to her credit card, police began searching for suspects. Yesterday, they arrested 33-year-old Nicole Jensen of Spokane and jailed her on charges of theft, forgery, and possession of stolen property.
Going green is becoming more important throughout the world. Elizabeth Medina explains how this will affect the upcoming. Going green is becoming more important throughout the world. Elizabeth Medina explains how faculty and students at Washington State University are taking sustainability to the next level.
The majority of the clothes in your closet are probably cotton, and about 95% of cotton material goes to landfills. WSU professor Hong Liu has thought of a way to produce recycled cotton fibers. These fibers can be used to make yarn and eventually other products.
First of all, we are using the waste. So decrease the amount of waste into landfill, all incinerators. So that's the first thing. And the second, we are producing value-added fibers. So that's from waste to value.
Hong's research efforts have even inspired students to get involved with the research project.
So a lot of people feel like when they hear the word research, they think, oh, that just means in a lab with a white lab coat, and that's not what we mean when we talk about research. We mean research, scholarly, and creative activities. So we see research in a lot of different disciplines, and it's exciting for me to see it in all majors.
The research team has been able to successfully create new fibers from old clothes like cotton t-shirts and denim with a cotton blend. The next step is to commercialize the recycled fibers, which they hope to do by the end of the semester. Elizabeth Medina, Murrow News 8.
No university in the state of Washington has set a precedent for college institutions to sell alcohol within their football stadiums. Irish Concepcion will tell you how the absence of a beer garden in Martin Stadium isn't stopping anyone from drinking in the stands.
At every home game, fans sit packed tightly in the bleachers of Martin Stadium. Concession stands provide all the food and drinks for Cougar fans to enjoy during games, but the only beverages spectators should expect to buy in Martin Stadium are water and soft drinks. 2 weeks ago, a number of alcohol offenses occurred during the Boise State game alone. Seeing as alcohol isn't served to the general public through concessions, the only way it ever ends up in Martin Stadium is through smuggling. Gemma Gutierrez recalls the common ways that she's seen people get crafty when sneaking booze through stadium entrances.
The most common way I've seen it is like on their breasts for females, flasks, like strapped to their bodies.
Students like Mirella Gallagher aren't so shocked at how often people get caught concealing alcohol during sporting events.
As far as regulation over it, there's not really so much you can do because there's even going to be people over 21 still smoking alcohol because it's not allowed.
The Washington State Liquor and Cannabis Board told us the main reason why Washington State University does not permit alcohol sales at concessions is because most students are underage.
It's incumbent upon the person, the licensee asking to increase their alcohol sales to demonstrate to the board how that won't be done at the sacrifice of public safety.
Students should expect their designated seating section to remain dry for the remainder of the football season. Irish Concepcion, Murrow News 8.
When we come back, President Trump gives a passionate speech to the UN.
Plus, a powerful earthquake rocks Mexico.
Thank you. You got a king?
Go fish!
The smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life. Take time to be a dad today.
Don't worry, 74 people were picked before me in the NFL draft. To fight childhood obesity, United Way and the NFL are helping kids play at least 60 minutes a day.
Okay, time for the team obstacle course. Yay!
What this place needs is more healthy kids. To get involved or donate, go to unitedway.org/play60.
Now I get it.
The death toll continues to rise after a powerful earthquake struck Mexico earlier today. The 7.1 magnitude earthquake even rattled the Mexico City about 100 miles away. A sea of people flooded the streets in panic as emergency workers and ordinary citizens raced to the site of downed structures, lifting rubble with their hands in an attempt to free anyone stuck underneath. The quake hit on the 32nd anniversary of a devastating earthquake that killed thousands in Mexico City back in 1985.
President Donald Trump is once again trying to rally people against North Korea. Trump delivered a fiery UN speech denouncing North Korea's nuclear efforts as tensions rise. He is issuing a call to action for other nations to rise against Kim Jong-un.
We will have no choice but to totally destroy North Korea. Rocket Man is on a suicide mission for himself and for his regime.
While being a critic of the UN, Trump praised its future.
In a move that will add $700 billion to the United States, Military Congress passed a defense bill for the 56th consecutive year. The bill, which puts the United States Armed Forces on track for a budget greater than any time during the past decade, passed by an 89-8 vote. Key parts of the bill expand the U.S. missile defense system, which also including over $140 billion for military personnel, costs such as payroll bonuses and benefits.
Students are recovering from the violence that erupted throughout Georgia Tech following a peaceful vigil for a student who was fatally shot by campus officers over the weekend. Videos were taken of people at the scene being handcuffed and thrown to the ground. A group of about 50 protesters marched to the campus police department, and at least one tossed a flare into the police vehicle, setting it on fire. Police arrested 3 people and charged them with inciting a riot and battery of an officer. Students were urged to stay inside and lock their doors because of the violent protests on campus.
The U.S. State Department is tightening rules on U.S. visas, imposing new restrictions on both existing and future applicants. Secretary of State Rex Tillerson sent a cable to the American embassies around the world stating that visitors who have a visa must follow through on their stated plans for at least 3 months. If they do something that they did not previously mention, such as get married or get a job, it will be assumed that they purposely tried to deceive the State Department, putting them at risk for deportation.
Hurricane Maria is ripping through the Caribbean and is expected to hit Puerto Rico within the next 24 hours, causing catastrophic damage throughout the entire country. Puerto Rico is already reeling due to the destruction from Hurricane Irma, which caused $1 million worth of damage in Puerto Rico last week. Puerto Rican Governor Ricardo Rosella says no generation has seen a hurricane like this since 1928. Hurricane Maria is currently reaching wind speeds of 165 miles per hour and is classified as a Category 5 hurricane.
Coming up, we'll look at what's going on in the world of social media.
Plus, I'll have your 5-day forecast.
The great outside.
My new mom and I have a lot in common.
So shiny.
We both love the outdoors.
That's not a flower.
And she knows a lot about wildlife.
A labradoodle.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of kids in foster care will take you just as you are.
My new dad teaches me all kinds of stuff.
I wouldn't use this one.
He helps me with my decision making.
Ever.
And he's even teaching me how to drive.
And that's why cars have bumpers.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of kids in foster care will take you just as you are.
Wow, these are really good.
You act surprised. Practice makes perfect.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. There are thousands of teens in foster care who don't need perfection. They need you.
It suddenly feels like fall outside, and the rain is coming down. Shannon, will it be sticking around?
Yeah, Nick, it looks like we'll have to keep our raincoats out for a few more days. Today, we saw a bunch of rain and very windy with 18 miles per hour. Today's high got to be about 53, and it's normally a bit warmer at 72. But for tomorrow, we'll be seeing a little chilly in the morning, about 40 degrees. It won't warm up very much more, only getting to about 47. But it's going to get down into the 30s for the night, so it's going to be very chilly. And if you haven't already, you should close those windows at night because it's going to be really cold. Now over to the west side, we're seeing Seattle about 60 degrees and raining, which is pretty typical for them. Olympia and Vancouver, the same. Over here in central Washington, Wenatchee, the only sunny place across the state, it seems. Yakima, a little bit warmer in 69. In the inland northwest, Spokane, you'll be here. It's really rainy, very windy. I even heard they had some hail earlier. 56 degrees down here in Pullman. Rain, windy, and 53 degrees is our high. For your 5-day forecast, it's going to be rainy and cloudy for the Thursday into your weekend. So that game, you should definitely bring some warmer clothes. It's going to be raining quite a bit. Sunday and Monday, it'll be warming up though. So if you want one last taste of summer weather, you might just get it into next week. Back to you, Nick.
It's the 10-year anniversary of a very popular television show. Find out which one on the other side of the break.
When you're out there, there's no telling what you'll find.
I see it, I see it.
Oh, look at you.
There are some moments only the forest can inspire. Find yours at discovertheforest.org.
The great outside.
My new mom and I have a lot in common.
So shiny.
We both love the outdoors. That's not a flower. And she knows a lot about wildlife.
A labradoodle.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of kids in foster care will take you just as you are.
If you want to be a parent, it doesn't matter how you play or even what you wear. You just need to be there. Thousands of teens in foster care don't need perfection. They just need you.
Headbands, tweed coats, kitten heels, and stockings are not the hype in 2017. But remember when Chuck Bass became every girl's heartthrob and we wish Serena Van Der Woodson was our best friend? It's appropriate to say that dressing like an Upper East Sider is the best way to celebrate Gossip Girl's 10th anniversary. 10 years ago, CW started airing the 6-season-long series that millennials are still binge-watching. We wouldn't be surprised if the cast of Gossip Girl got together earlier this evening for a round of Cosmopolitans. Thank you for watching us.
Join us every weeknight at 7 and 10 p.m. for Pullman's only nightly newscast. Have a great night, and don't forget to follow Murrow News 8 on Facebook and Twitter. Good night, Pullman.